Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create this Halloween look. So Rimmel London got in touch with me and they said we would love you to create a look around this lipstick. So they have brought out a brand new product called the Only One Matte Lipstick. So basically it is just a really gorgeous lipstick range. They are really pigmented, they have a really beautiful texture, they're really fab quality as well. So they gave me this colour, it's the shade 750. And do you know, it really reminded me of the first ever time that I created this look. So this is my 4th year in a row creating this kind of Halloween look. So it's one of my favourite looks to do. It's super easy once you know how to do it. So it inspired me to create this Halloween tutorial for you guys. Not only have they brought out that new product, but they have a new kind of way to shop, if you will. There is a new lip library on Rimmel London's website, so I'll link that down below. If you'd like to see how I created this look, stay tuned. I'm going to start with the glam side first, just because I find it easier once I've got this side kind of done to then go ahead with the skull. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my face with the Fix and Perfect by Rimmel. This is just a really good primer, it's a good all-rounder, so I'm going to put that on all over. Obviously we're using makeup on both sides here today, so you can prep your whole face. Now my skull side is going to be this side, so I'm going to glam this side first. I'm going to go in with the Match Perfection Foundation by Rimmel again, and this is the shade 200 Soft Beige. So I'm just going to take a couple of pumps on one side and then I'm just going to apply that with a beauty blender. This foundation is fab actually, it's really good. Nice coverage, not too heavy. I think it kind of advertises itself as invisible coverage, so you can't really see how thick it is. Maybe medium to full coverage, you can build it right up, but I do like my skin to be more on the dewy side, so with that primer underneath, it really works. Next product I'm going to go in with is the Match Perfection, so it's the same as the foundation, but this is the concealer, and this is the shade Soft Beige in number 40, and all you do is you give it a little squeeze, product comes up, and then you just paint it on. And I'm just going to highlight underneath my eyes, a little bit of my cupid's bow. I'm going to leave my nose area, but I'm going to go up here on my forehead. Super easy to use because you can just squeeze how much product you need, and for me I don't think you need much of this, which is good obviously. And then I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty blender as well. Now once that's on, you've pretty much got a perfect base. I'm going to go in with my Kat Von D loose powder, and I'm just going to take that on my beauty blender and I'm going to bake underneath my eyes. And then I like to just go on the sides of my nose as well, because I know that's where I move the most. While I'm waiting for that to set, I'm going to go in straight to my eyes. I'm going to go in with my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Layin Low, and because I have no nails at the moment, I can go straight in with my finger, and I'm just going to prepare that whole eye. I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette, and I'm going to just start creating a really nice kind of smoky eye to start with. And I'm going to go in with this shade here, White Chocolate all over to mattify, and then I'm going to go in with this shade just to start defining my crease. The brush I'm using here is my MAC 224. It's just my favourite brush for mattifying the eye and then starting to create some definition. It just works really well. Now I'm going to swap my brush over to my Zoeva 224. It's just a little bit smaller, and we're going to go in with the shade here, which is called Milk Chocolate. It's just like a slightly darker but still warm brown, and we're just going to define that crease a little bit more. Now I'm going to go in with Kleina flat brush. This is the 253 from Smith, and I'm going to push that white chocolate shade onto my lid to completely mattify that so there's no creasing throughout the day, and also to keep it super matte. I'm going to take my Smith 112 brush and just dust away that powder underneath my eye to reveal a perfectly set under eye. And then I'm going to take my 224 from Zoeva and the Milk Chocolate shade again and just buff that under my eye to create a nice smoke under there. Once we've got that on, you can highlight the inner corner if you like. I'm going to go ahead and do that with the shade Champagne Truffle, which is just here. I'm just highlighting my brow bone there as well. And I'm going to go in with my wonderful mascara. This is Rimmel's new mascara that's got argan oil infused, which is wicked for people like me who wear falsies every day. So it's conditioning your lashes at the same time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on my lashes. My lashes of choice today are the Farah Lash by Huda Beauty. They are super thick. They're really nice lashes. So I'm going to wait for those to dry, and then I'm going to quickly fill in my brow. I'm just going to use my Anastasia Dip Brow in medium brown with my Smith 205 brush. It's fab. And I'm just going to fill in my brow like normal. So it's actually pretty natural, this. And then I'm just going to set that brow with my Anastasia Brow Gel. Brushing up at the front and then just through the brow towards the ends. So I just stuck that lash on super quick. And if you have a look, that is where the drama starts. Now I'm going to finish off my skin on this side. I'm going to go in with my NARS bronzer in Laguna. And I'm going to create some warmth on this side. Powders go on this foundation really nicely. Well, this is kind of turning out to be like the power of makeup, huh? I'm just going to go in with Becca Opal to intensely highlight. And then I'm going to highlight my nose anyway. I know I'm going to be doing my little skull, but I think that'll work. For a little bit of added Halloween glam, I'm going to go in with my Heavy Metal Glitter in Junk Show. This is by Urban Decay. And I'm going to create a little kind of glitter triangle underneath my eye. So I'm going to leave that side of my face finished like that. I'm not going to do my lips yet. Let's move on to this side. So this is the important part. We're going to go in with Illamasqua Skin Base in the shade 01. So this is white. It's just a white foundation. I'm going to take a decent amount of that in the back of my hand. And then we've already primed this side of our faces, so we're just going to start to apply that. There's some areas that you might need to go over a little bit more. And I'm just kind of bringing that to roughly the middle of my face and just blending that in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Rimmel brow pencil. This is the shade brown, dark brown, and I'm going to sketch out my shapes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch out the eye hole. So I cover up my brow. I find that the easiest. It means you don't need to conceal your brows with glue or anything. And I'm just creating a rough eye shape. So what you can do is, I've done this skill a few times obviously, so I roughly know what I'm kind of doing, but if you feel like it'll help, a rough guideline is easier to draw when you have a picture of a skull right in front of you. And then I just go underneath my cheekbone and then down, and then that just kind of creates the shadow, so I like to just shade that all in. And then the nose part, I just cover up that whole part of my nose. I'm going to go down the middle, and then this isn't anatomically correct, but I feel like it looks better. So when I'm doing a full skull, I'll just have the two triangles up the sides. But when I'm doing a half skull, I do the two triangles at the side of the nose. I know where I'm going. I know I can start filling things in. I know I like a little bit up here with my temple. And then I like to cut the jaw. And then the rest of it you can kind of do with shading and things like that. It makes it a little bit cooler. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Rimmel Black Gel Liner. This is everyone's kind of go-to drugstore liner. I remember when I first started doing makeup, everybody had this. It's just one of the best gel liners on the market for sure. And I'm just going to go in with the little brush it comes with, and I'm going to start going over my eye. Going right into the brow hairs, and yes, this is not the easiest thing to clean off your face. And I'm just filling in that whole socket. Going right in the waterline. I'm going to tightline my eye. Do you know what? That actually isn't creasing that bad at all. Okay, so it looks a wee bit weird when it's just like a big blob, but it comes together, I swear. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the Magnif'eyes, and this is a big coal black pencil. So this is really good for using and then blending out. So I'm going to start by doing this cheekbone. I'm going to just start sketching under here, and then I'm going to start blending that out. So I'm just going to use an eyeshadow brush. This is a Urban Decay one, and because coal pencil is so soft, it just blends really easily. I'm actually going to bring that up a little bit higher just here, so it kind of goes over the teeth. I'm going to do the same thing under here, but you can just sketch it on and then blend, and it's so much better than having like a sharpenable pencil, if you know what I mean. And then I'm going to do the same thing to my head. And I just go right into the hairline there as well. I'm going to do the nose now, and I'm going to go back in with the gel because noses are the things we touch the most, so I want it to really last. I'm just going to colour in the little shape I made. And then I'm going to swap into my Scandalise liner pen again, and I'm just going to really neaten that up. Use the side of that pen to get it nice and sharp. I like to kind of get the biggest parts done and then go in and add all the detail, which makes it look like good. So I'm going to go in with this pen and I'm going to get that line, and then I'm going to draw a line here. Here's where my teeth are going to start. Now obviously I can't speak when I'm doing the teeth, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw lines the whole way along, really easy, and then I'm going to create the teeth effect by adding tiny little triangles to the tip of each line, and then we're going to use eyeshadow to blend that upwards to create the depth, okay? So it's as easy as that. I've seen a lot of tutorials, they just leave the teeth like this as well, so if you want to make it a little bit easier, feel free to do that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the little triangles to the top of each line. So I'm going to go in with a really small brush. This is the Smith 304 brush. It's just tiny, tiny, tiny. I think I've used it as a lip brush in the past. And I'm just going to smudge that liner. Because the white foundation's there already, it just blends really easily. I just like to smudge the line we've created as well a little bit. I'm just going to darken up in here. Wow, that's tickly. Woo! And then I'm going to darken up the lines in between the teeth. And make them not so neat and tidy. The skeleton does not have veneers. Now if you like, you don't have to do this, but if you like, you can darken it up a little bit with a little bit of eyeshadow. So I'm going to go back in with my chocolate bar palette, and I'm actually going to go in with this shade here, the shade that we use to transition the colours. And I'm just going to add a little bit more depth in between those teeth. And then I'm just kind of shading right around them as well. Now, to make the teeth whiter, I'm going to use the 24-hour Colour Precise eyeliner from Rimmel, and this is just white. And this is such a great trick because obviously it's hard to make the foundation that white. I just like to use the pen on its side, but see just little touches of that when you pat it on like so. If you notice the difference, the bottom teeth look a lot whiter. And when you pat it on, it means you're not dragging the product, which means you're not going to get foundation all over this. I'm going to use a little bit of this Scandalise eyeshadow stick. If you have a look, it's actually really bright white. I'm going to use that to highlight. Okay, let's add some cracks. So we've got all the kind of key components now to this skull. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start sketching with my brow pencil the kind of cracks around the eyes. I'm going to add some cracks just about here in the face, and then I like when it's a half skull to have a crack coming down the middle, like it's half a face, if you know what I mean. So there's always one here. There's always one underneath the eye somewhere. I'm going to go on top of those little cracks with my fine liner pen that I use for my teeth. My tip for this is hold the pen nice and far back. It means that your hand's kind of shaky, and then that's how you get super fine lines, nice kind of cracks. And then you can kind of drag some of the gel liner up as well, which makes it quite a cool shadow. The nice thing about skulls is they're not neat and tidy. You can do them really neat and tidy and kind of anatomical if you want, but Halloween's all about fun. I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of this cherry cordial colour here, and I'm going to use that to help blend out some of the darker areas. The reason I love doing a skull for Halloween is it's so cheap to do because most of this makeup you already have, and loads of these products you'll use again, you know. I'm actually going to go in with this champagne truffle colour, so I'm going to highlight all the kind of key points of this look where I've already put that eyeshadow pencil, because I want it to be a glowing skull. And I've used really kind of easy peasy eyeshadows, which means most of you will hopefully have some of these in the house already. So a lot of this look is just kind of going back and neatening different parts up. So once you're kind of happy with the skull part, you can do the lips on the other side. So obviously I'm going to line my lips first quickly with Nighthawk liner by Urban Decay. And then I'm going to use this beautiful lipstick by Rimmel. So this is the shade number 750. And I'm just going to, these smell honestly so good. That's such a nice colour. So I'm going to go and I'm going to tweak some little bits. I didn't actually powder this eyeball. Do I need to do it? Yeah. I'm going to go back over it with this cream because I think this is really black. And I'm just going to really darken that up. It's up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this eye off with my lashes and mascara. And because even though you won't really be able to see the lashes, it's nice to have them on. So you guys, I'm going to stick on my eyelash, have a closer look, see if there's anything else I want to touch up and change, and then I'll come back and see you in just a sec. Ta-da! And that is my Halloween look, guys. I hope you like it. All I did was stuck my lash on. I made my lines a little bit darker around my eyes. I brought this shadow a little bit higher on my teeth, and then I darkened the teeth up a little bit as well, and then made the white a little bit stronger just by going in on top of it again. So with this look you can spend as long as you want on it, or you can be quite quick. I hope you like it. This lipstick is stunning, obviously, that is why we're here. Thank you so much to Rimmel for making this video happen. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope to see your recreations on Twitter and Instagram and things like that. And I'll see you next time with another tutorial. Bye!